saying something. Can we continue?
Yeah, so welcome back from the commercial break. We were talking, I was saying that I'm speaking for all the single people and the fact that this has made it much, much harder to date. And so even meet somebody to date, the dating is the process. The encounter, because there's so many fakes and posing people on social media, you know. So it's harder for someone like me, and I'll put it this way. I'm a media person, I'm a broadcaster, I'm a journalist and all. And so I somewhat have a name, right? So by the time you encounter someone, oh, it's Chama BBB. They don't want to get to know Chama Opala. They want to know Chama BBB, or they want to present themselves to Chama BBB as a certain person. So it just makes it hard for you to what's the word I would use? It just makes it hard for you to be the best of you, or actually for you to get to know who you are actually dealing with.
For someone to get to know the real you. Okay, yes.
For you to even know who you're dealing with, because you're dealing with somebody who sees you as an idol or a persona, or wants to live up to a certain impression that sometimes I'm wondering who's giving them that impression. Because I don't think I am. So it makes it hard. Then of course, like I said, the thought that you don't know where this person has been, when the lockdown was, uplifted, kind of. You don't know in their honey state of how many months back to back. You don't know where they have been and who they've been with. So it's an issue. Please tell me what to do.
My question would be, so for me, there are issues and there's solutions. So what I'm like, can we begin to find solutions for single ladies, like you say, people like you? That's on one hand. On the second hand, I'd like to, because I understand what it means, what it feels like to be like in the public eye and people if you're married, but people walk up to you and they're walking up to Choma BBB, the radio presenter, right? And for whatever reason, people think that just because they've heard your voice for so long, or they've seen you on television for so long, or on Instagram posting daily, then they kind of like know you, right? I don't know. It's just something really silly that people assume. But then on the other hand, I'm saying that this actually makes you open. This puts you in a spot where you can access men, because people have an issue. I know people that have issues just finding men who would turn their will to give them the attention that they want. But there I think that you might have, I do know that. No, hold on.
That's another myth.
Yeah,
that's another myth. That's another myth that a lot of people have, that because you are out there, you're going to get access to men. It's a myth. Let me explain why. So everybody thinks that, Chama must have one big, some guy. Do you know how many people call you and you're saying I'm single on air, and they call you and say, Chama, you're single? How? There are men around. So it's like, so there's that thing where you have like, let's say you have, and I'm going to, this is a weird comparison, but follow me for a minute.
Yeah.
So you go to like an event place and you have like a stall, like 3 stalls of bathroom, and everybody assumes that everyone has used the first one, so you go use the second or the third one. You see that ideology? That's the same myth. That's the same mentality that people tend to have with people when you're out there in the public. They just feel like, no, there's no way.
No, so for me, it's not that there's no way. I understand that you're still single, but I'm saying that, is it that people do not, because I know also of people who just stalk ladies just because of the way they sound on the phone. They hear them every day and they have this big crush on Chama BBB. So that's what I mean by, you have men, who really are probably interested in you. They're probably not cool. They're probably not the best people. They're probably married. They're probably junkies. Who knows? But I'm just saying, still, don't you have this kind of attention? Yeah. And then
you don't have as much.
What will be the first question I asked? about solution. What do you think the solution would be? And I still think, because I still have people who are told in recent past, in COVID, to go online, go try the online dating world, because I just think that it's the most practical solution right now. I'm not saying Instagram, I'm not saying Facebook. I know that there are all these dating
All
apps.
right.
I
Like the Christian dating sites.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Christian dating sites.
So
Okay.
if that's a solution for you, my question is,
Oh,
what are the other
there's
solutions?
one. Oh,
Ruth, yes, you wanted to mention one. I'm
Oh,
listening.
yes. Okay. Okay. I don't. I think we do not have so much time left. Really, I would really
No.
love to be part of this conversation. Really, I would love to be. I just changed my phone. I'd love to be part of this conversation, but I also think that we should have time to talk about other things. I'm sorry for cutting you.
No,
I
no, no,
would
no, it's
love.
fine.
It's
This
okay. It's okay.
conversation though.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. But the last time Austin came on, he told us we had 19 minutes. So I want to really be sure that we're hitting every corner of this lockdown gist. Really,
Down
I'm sorry for
Chronicles, yes.
cutting you there. Really,
No, it's
yes.
fine.
Yes. So, okay. So, finally, there's not finally, anyways. There's something I observed during the lockdown. Saying, "Oh, Nigeria, we have our own skata everywhere," but it was so interesting that during the lockdown, many people, I would say, put so much humanitarian effort. Do you understand what I mean? We had a lot of people lending hands, a lot of people looking out for their
Mm,
neighbors. I mean, it was really interesting.
mm.
I was surprised. I went on Instagram and I saw people giving out so many things. People having so many giveaways. Send your account details. Let's know how you are. I mean, that was really interesting. So I really want to know, was there anyone that took part in this thing, and how was it effective? Really, how was it effective? Was there anyone that really had time to say, okay, I need to look out for my neighbor, I need to give out something? Was it frequent? How effective was it really?
Okay, I
Okay,
think I
you want
should
to
go
have
first there before my line misbehaves again. I don't know if you can all hear me.
Okay.
yes, we can.
Okay. To be honest, I was at the receiving end. I was a recipient rather during the lockdown period, because what happened was, my husband, where he works, I don't want to really disclose where because there are a lot of issues. But for some reason, someone was sitting on his payroll and he didn't receive his salary for like almost 2 years. It was
Oh
terrible.
wow.
Things were really rough. And then business slowed down for me because most of the businesses, of course, as you well know, suffered during the pandemic. So at some point when we finished talking, we ran out of money somewhere. It became difficult. There was a tear-jerking moment for me, in the sense that my old girls association, that's my secondary school, we have this WhatsApp group. So they were asking questions like, just like what Ruth said, how are you guys coping? How are you faring? And me, I was embarrassed, owning up to the fact that we're having money troubles. No, nobody really wants to own up that, we're having this problem. I just felt we could rough it out. But at some point, it was really, really terrible. And then I spoke to one of the ladies, the girls that was close to that. Look, it's been terrible for me, because she had to private chat me that, look, we're raising funds for sisters who don't have, and we know that you have, can you please contribute? So that was when I was forced to like tell her that, look, it's not as rosy as you think it is with me. Look at what's happening here. And she was like, oh my God, you're supposed to rather be on the list of people receiving. And I told her, no, I'm too embarrassed to put my name on the list. And she was like, no, 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 you just have to put your name on the list. We are all sisters. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. So quickly, she put my name on the list, and all the sisters just started contributing money. And before you know it, they raised
Wow.
a reasonable sum of money and gave to me. I just didn't know what to do. The next thing, I just found myself breaking down and, weeping. The show of love was really very strong. It was really very strong. And then me on my end, when I got the money, I now started asking around for people who needed. like, friends, family friends, and I still ended up sharing some out. So I think that period for us was, yeah, it was a period where we really got to feel the humanity in us, where it
Yeah.
looked like there wasn't enough, but you just had to share because you didn't know whether your neighbor was having it worse than you were having. So it was
Yeah.
really a moment where I felt the love, and I also gave out from the little I had as well.
Wow. Wow, wow, that was so touching, really. But I mean, it's amazing how most of us still think, oh, Nigerians, you really cannot get genuine people out there. But it was interesting, really. I know a whole lot of people, that took out time, even though they were not making so much, at the time they were not making so much, but took out time to care for their neighbors, to care for their loved ones, and even people they really did not know. So I think I mean, for me it was something that really encouraged me to say, I mean, yes, Nigeria is great, really. I think it was something that changed my thoughts and my idea about most Nigerians, really.
Yes, we
And
haven't
so
lost our humanity at all.
yes, 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 and I'm glad, and I'm glad. So, okay, so Pastor Ruth Kakulu, I know the church, had a lot to play in this too. Of course, the many churches went as far as calling their members to see how they could reach out to them, because really
Yes,
it
we
wasn't
did.
an easy time for many people. It wasn't an easy time. I mean, like she said, I knew someone who I had asked her earlier on to say, how are you coping? But because she felt she was the one that should be lending a hand,
Asking.
yes, she
Yes,
felt
yes.
embarrassed to say, oh, I'm not doing well, oh, and I'd never really been the type to say, to go, keep pushing. I felt like I needed some sort of access into her life, that part of her life. But when she saw that I kept asking and asking, she just called me and said, you know what, I have to tell you the truth. Things are not going on well with us. My husband has not been paid. I've not been paid. And at that point, I said, okay, I knew somehow, because normally in this situation, you would be the one reaching out to people. So, Pastor Ruth
Hmm.
Kakulu, how were you able to do that? I'm sure your church had a lot of things to do, in this situation, in that situation rather.
Okay. Well, at that time, 1 month into the lockdown, we had I didn't actually wait for people to call me to start complaining. So I had a discourse with my husband, the head pastor. So I told him, okay, I think it is time for us to reach out to our members. We were actually doing the calls to find out how they were doing to ensure that they were safe. Do you get? To know if they are totally in the lockdown or they are moving about and all. But when it was 1 month into, we decided to go into doing the welfare and activities. So I was the one that was going out, with another member of mine. We got some things for them and we shared out to everybody. But I realized something, when you call them on phone, say, how are you doing? And the response you get is, oh, we are fine. We thank God everybody's doing well. But when we went to visit, to drop these palliatives with them, you will see the expression on their faces. One practically knelt down like, I almost died of hunger. Like, it's just 1 month. And she said, oh, I almost died of hunger. And she was crying. And then I felt, there was something inside me that just, like, oh, wow, thank God her name was on the list. We did that 3 times. We just kept doing that to ensure that everybody was safe, not just only the food items, then every other thing that needed to be shared. We do that and we reached out to so many persons. But at the same time, we ensured that those that needed counseling, because that's the time where you can have some people will say the normal way you see with your spouse regularly and all. So we also ensure we kept calling weekly for us to maintain this kind of peace in their homes and their environment.
Hmm.
We give them
Hmm.
time to relate to us. So when you're having issues in your home, if I don't want to hear, oh, they slapped me or they beat me or she was disobedient and all. So for us to have sanity, all round sanity, not just, oh, I have food to eat. So that part was essential for us as well. It was imperative that we needed to reach out to them first to counsel them, to advise them, share the word of God with them. At a point, for those that say, oh, we cannot follow services online, so if you can come over, it's fine. If you can't, if I have to share data with you, can I? And if you agree, oh, it's okay, but we just kept on feeding them with the right source of information so they will not lose it. There was a time I even got a call from somebody, a threatening call at night, and then she's like, oh, that they are robbing around. And I got 3 of those calls at the same time. What do I need to do? I can't go to their houses to go and secure them. I can only do the thing I know how to do best, was to put my knees on the floor at that time. This wasn't about the food, it wasn't about money, but it was about security. So the only person I can reach out to was God at that time for them to be secure. But thank God for the testimony that came afterwards. So it was okay. It's a beautiful chronicles, actually. It's a beautiful chronicles. If we want to write books out from this lockdown, trust me. I was telling my members the other time, I said, when we entered 2020, nobody knew that the year was going to be like this. Nobody.
Yeah.
But the truth is, through the lockdown, when you wake up in the morning, you know that your heart is functioning, your kidneys are functioning, your lungs, they are okay. The only thing you just need to say, whether there is food or not, say, thank you, Jesus. And that has been what has been keeping us. It's an inspiration to everybody in church, But thank God for God and thank God for His grace.
Okay, so finally, let's go back to Chioma. Chioma, I told you I was not going to miss this conversation. I didn't really hear the better part of it. So we're going back to it, and that's how we're going to end, because I do not want any interruption, really. So let's keep talking. Yes, I was off a bit because I had to change my phone. So I really want to be part of this conversation. Please, Chioma, go on. Please.
On the relationship matter, right?
Yes, please.
Well, I think, like I said, I posed, some of the challenges that were there, and you talked about some Christian online sites and all. I am very petrified about online dating, because there's so many wolves in sheep clothing. And again, don't mind me, this is a personal thing, because I have I've had an encounter. I've had one. And the person posed as a put together, I love Jesus, I'm so, that's my focus kind of person. And he turned out to be a leech.
Wow.
Look, wow. Don't let me go into the details of it. Like a leech. So again, this might be peculiar to someone who is in the forefront of the media in a manner of speaking. It might not be a general thing, but let's be honest. Even in church premises, there are many people that come. I have heard of a real life story of a young man that came to a church, formed and born again, formed this and that, and followed this lady to the end. Pastor was in with it. This man is very, is in the workers department. They got married. They said the next morning, the guy came out and said, my dear, come, we need to talk. And then she saw, basically, he told her he was Muslim, but he really liked her. That's why he came to church, and that's why he followed her all the way, because he really liked her. And then he said to her, the only thing is that when we have children, that's the one, you can keep going to church, it's okay. You understand? I don't have a problem with it. But when we have children, they have to come, they have to be Muslims. And again, I don't have any problem with any religion, but I need to know that I'm having a one-on-one honest encounter with you. So it's that honesty that makes me run away a lot of times from social media.
Okay, so what's your solution?
You know what I mean?
Because you
can where we ask.
Mary, you were saying something earlier on. You were saying something earlier on.
No, it's the same. I was saying that I thought about it. I've spoken with singles who were actually very frustrated in this period. They still are. It's still not very easy because social life has only just, opened up like that. It wasn't even hard enough before the lockdown. And then now with the lockdown. And I say that go online. Everything is virtual. that's the world we have found ourselves. It's like we're living this parallel world of, real time and virtual world. Businesses
Yeah.
now are going online. Every other thing is going online, and that's the way forward with the world. So I say go online, but as just the same way you have rules guiding you in the real time, you must have rules guiding you in the virtual time. So you're not going there and meeting someone, even though it has such wonderful profile, whether it's a gospel. I'm not really particular if it's a Christian site. I believe just the same way it happens in real time, that some guys come into church just to find a lady, because just to find a
Yeah.
church girl. Yeah, it's the same thing with
Where
the
it
virtual
fronts,
world.
yeah. The way it
Yeah,
fronts.
pose as he could be a wolf in sheep's clothing. So be guarded. So go there saying, okay, you know what? I'm looking for this. Be prayerful. You're prayerful, right? So go there saying, I'm looking for this, but don't go full throttle. Don't pour all your emotions right in. Not just yes
Okay.
until the time when you can agree to meet physically and then start something physically.
And then pay attention
Okay.
to the small things,
For
because
me, I would
business.
say,
We have
that
less
you should.
time.
Okay.
What?
I wanted to say to Chairman that for me, I would say that you ask God to give you a very strong intuition. That's all you need. A very strong intuition, so that when you
I was
meet
about saying
someone,
that. You just thank
yes,
you.
when you meet someone, you
When
will just know,
listen,
because it's not whether you meet the person online or physically. We have really run out of time. If not, I would have shared a real life story
exactly,
of what happened to my first cousin.
exactly.
This guy purposely came to church on a mission. He was HIV positive in the 90s, when we didn't even have hope for ARTs and all those drugs that
Sure.
suppress the virus now.
Mm.
Then it was scary in the early 90s. There was like no cure. He came into church looking for a church girl, and he met my cousin, who has been a church girl even long before I gave my life to Christ. She was even the one talking to us about Christ back then in secondary school, and we'll be laughing at her that, what's this one talking about? Got this girl, it's a long story. Married her, watched everything, and she thought she met a born again Christian. He came to church, pretended to give his life to Christ, pretended to be a church guy, got married to this girl. My cousin had her first baby till he revealed his status. And he was sure
Wow.
he did it long enough to be sure enough that she had caught the virus as well. But as God will have
That's
it, she was
wickedness.
negative. Her son was negative. So in
Thank
this
God.
case, for a girl who's been born again for like since she was 15, 16 years old, she didn't even know anything. She was naive. She didn't know anything about somebody being tricky or cunning or mischievous. So just go with your gut
Okay.
feeling. Ask God to give you a very strong intuition that when you meet the person, just like Abraham kept telling his servants to pray before going to get Rebecca for
Okay.
Isaac. I believe that's
Yeah.
just the move we should make.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
I
don't
think
close
Yeah,
the
we
because
door.
have we
Don't
really run
close
out
the
of
door.
time right
Chama,
now.
don't close the door.
We
Don't
really
shut
ran
the
out of time
door.
right now. But
Yeah.
yes, we're not going to shut the door. But I will just add this to what we're saying right now concerning the relationship, because we need to close right now. You guys. So from everything we've discussed so far, it is good. But as a lady, aside being visible and being accessible, approachable, the first thing first you should do is to get in tune with the spirit. It is very important, because when you are constantly in tune with the spirit of God,
very, very.
you will know when somebody is coming in, deceiving you or not. Really, you need to be in.
Exactly,
You
exactly.
cannot. I can't overrule that out. You need to be. So you that is
Yeah.
watching us right
Oh
here, we might
yes,
be
of
bringing up.
course.
Oh, you need to keep up the game. Make, because now the Bible says that marriage is honorable and bed undefiled. When we start hearing course of
Yes.
conversation, like, okay, what about the singles that gets honey, that they were honey at that point in time? Truth is, I didn't say anything, because if I want to go into that place, it will be a sermon entirely. But right now, I want you as a single lady, get in tune. If you don't heard anything today, hear this. Get in tune with the Holy Spirit, and then He will give you direction. Don't make the Holy Spirit jobless. I beg of you, don't make him jobless. Don't rule him. Let him be the one that will lead you. That is just my
Roll
advice
you,
to
yeah.
single ladies.
Yeah.
When you
Exactly.
have that,
Yeah.
absolutely, there is nobody that will come in, a wolf that will come in sheep clothing that will deceive you, because you will see right through. You will see right
Absolutely.
through
And
him when
look,
he's
look,
talking.
and look beyond the profile, because look
Yes.
beyond the
Oh
profile.
yes.
Another advice that I will put there, because a business and all of these things going on, so on online, they are impersonal. Relationship is a
Yes.
personal thing. So look beyond the profile.
Mm-hmm.
As a woman, this is another conversation. I'm just going to drop a one liner. As a woman, know who you are. Who
Yeah.
you are first, because you
Thank
can't
you.
give what you don't know about.
Thank
Okay,
Yeah.
you.
I'm ending here.
Mm-hmm. Your
Yes.
identity is what matters.
Okay.
Your
Yes. So
solid identity is what matters. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I know. I mean, I really need more. I really think we need more time to talk. But right now, I've been told we do not
I
have
wish
so
we could
much
do this
time.
again.
Yes, I've been told we do not have. Yes, we just have 3 minutes. So, I think we're going to wrap it up here. But before we go, I know there are a lot of people who during the lockdown had so many pet projects. There are some things you had planned. A lot of people are still in that decision making. What do I want to do? What do I want to achieve? Are there any pet projects that you have right now? So let me start with Trauma BBB.
I think my biggest pet project will be, I do sharing life issues every day, Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Inspiration 92.3 FM. I'm on Instagram Live as well at Shema BBB every day, and it's so important to me because it's an opportunity for us to really talk about the issues, no holds barred. So that is something I hold very dearly. And then talking more about experiential communication with people, understanding that just meeting someone is not enough. How you encounter that person and make an
Yeah.
impression is what's important. That's it.
All right. All right. Thank you, Mary Jane.
Yeah, the word experiential communication. I'm like, whoa. Okay, great. My latest pet program would be the African Lady Ambassador Program. Acronym is TALA. I mentioned it before. It's just a community of really passionate, purpose-driven young ladies who want to learn, who want to grow, who want to make a change in the world, who want to impact their worlds for good. I finished the first session. The first tribe graduated, I think, last week. The next two tribes are graduating in 2 weeks. And another session would be opening. It's been very, very impactful. If you want to know more about the program, then you might have to visit my website, www.maryjaneuniversal.com. Or you go to my Instagram page at Mary Jane Ubaja. The next session would be opening, and it's free for this first level. The next level will be opening up in a few weeks. Oh, well, registration will be opening up on the 5th of October, while, the course will start in November. And we're teaching things like values, purpose. We're teaching things on emotional intelligence, self-mastery. It's huge. It's really, really huge. All the ladies are like, wow. For level 2 is going to be really huge too. Is leadership, visioning, just many things, scheduling mastery, time mastery, rapid execution, goal setting, things like that. So it's a very big
Awesome.
program, and we're just doing what we
Yeah.
want to equip young ladies across Africa. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Ruth Kakulu.
Sorry, I got a bit distracted. Okay. For me, well, my pet project this period has always been to equip women. It has been to to enlighten them on what they need to know, to equip them financially, in whatever form that they need, and also to build the teenagers. So I have a passion for them, and I'm doing that. I follow them up. I have a discussion with them. I bring them close to myself. So basically that's what I do. So I have a page. We have the Shepherd Ladies page where we have all our programs that's been showed on that pages. Then we have we are into the BTS, the Breakfast Talk Show that I do quarterly. Then when all through the log the chronicles, we just do it online. Then as well, our www. So it's a project that we've been working on, and we are still on it. It's just to empower, basically to empower women, the younger ladies, and the teenagers. Basically for women. Basically for women.
Okay. Okay. How about peace?
Okay.
So please,
I have a brand called Fat Fighters NG. On Instagram, you can find us on the handle at Fat Fighters NG. Same thing on Facebook at Fat Fighters NG. So my pet project this period is basically to burn off our lockdown weight that we talked about earlier. So I have this program coming up on the 1st of October. It's called Christmas Hottie 100. So I'm looking for 100 women who are ready to shed all the weight and get to their goal weight before Christmas. So we're running the program for 3 months. I'm going to be taking them through what to eat, the kind of exercises they are going to do. So it's basically just going to be about reaching your goal weight. So all the lockdown weight, all the weight piled on the years before that, we are going to shed them off before Christmas.
I
And
want
it's
to get
starting
involved in
October
that.
1st. Yeah, October 1st. Fat Fighters NG.
okay, great. Okay,
As
so
How
independent.
about you, Ruth?
oh, okay. Yeah, so quickly, during the lockdown, I would say I had times where I thought about um really, I would say I was one person that really did not make so much, I mean, profits. So I thought about it and said, in the world right now where many things stopped, all we had were just people. So I thought to myself, I'll be making money, outside. How about the people around me? I've been training people in English, and I said to myself, I have a community, just around me. Maybe I should go back to doing this free training I was doing, adult education. And I said, okay, fine. So I'm just waiting on church to fully open. I don't know how soon, because really those people around I don't really think are people that really can learn virtually. So, yes, so I'm just waiting on in-person services to come on fully, so we can start off that program. So
Have you thought
basically,
about WhatsApp? The
what?
WhatsApp, as simple as WhatsApp.
Well, I mean, it's really serious. I have many people saying I cannot even come on WhatsApp. I mean, many people not having
They can't afford
smartphones.
data.
No, not
Yeah,
yes,
that was a
people
common
do.
problem this period.
Exactly, that do not have smartphones. I actually thought about them during this lockdown. So I said, okay, so for now, I actually started with some people. Some people actually came up to me and said, you know what, I need this training. And I said to them, I said, okay, it's free right now. So I've already started with some people that can access these trainings online. But then the one I really
Okay.
thought about achieving is ones for people who cannot achieve these online. Really, don't pay anything, just working, and let's have a better Nigeria. Really, because I
Yeah,
see
okay.
to it that
Can I just quickly add to what you're saying? Because I just feel like we're doing something similar. Because in fact, where Tala sprang from was a place like this, where in a community, in a local community called Langbasa, I heard about the needs. The boys were increasingly going into cultism activities because there was really nothing for them to do. But the girls were going into projects. I mean, like what we're doing now, empowering women. I just feel like women are benefiting a lot more this season than the guys. But anyways, what I decided to do was go teach them this life coaching in the community. So I
Okay.
started doing
Yeah.
that once every weekend. So I don't know if you've seen some of the pictures that I put. Just going there and using a premise and saying, you know what, y'all come, just come, and I teach them, and they're blown away. Teach them on purpose, teach them on values, teach them on this, and they're like, so I don't know, it might be
okay.
something.
Oh
But yeah,
yes, oh
It's a
yes. I
fantastic
guess
one,
I'll
Mary
have to
Jane.
reach
Very
out to you.
fantastic.
Yes, I guess
yeah,
I'll have to reach out to you,
That's
Mary
good.
Jane.
Because doing that,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
going to stop
yeah.
bowling.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll see. Yes. So thank you very much, ladies. This was interesting, even though it didn't seem like it was fun trying to end this conversation, but we have to end now. And I
I
really
think we should have
enjoyed
No,
started with this first.
I
I
never
know.
knew. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I know many of
That's
us
fine.
have some, but I'm sure we'll try and make it up somehow. I'm sure we'll
We
try and
will.
make it up
Yeah,
Yeah,
somehow.
we
I
will.
hope so too.
We
Yeah.
Thank
have
you
to.
very much. Thank you very much
Thank
for your
you.
contribution.
Thank you,
Thank
Thank you very
you.
ladies.
much,
So nice to
you
see
all,
each and every one
our
of you
virtual
Thank you,
again.
audience.
ladies.
Thank you.
Thank
God
Thank
you.
you.
bless
And have a
you.
lovely
Have a
evening.
wonderful and a blessed weekend. All
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
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 Bye.